This is the Cobra CS35040VX, which is a battery-powered chainsaw. And this is how it arrives in this box like that. So what we're going to do is to take it out of the box, unpackage it, and then I'll show you how easy it is to assemble. Here it is all out of the box. Everything is here that you need to be able to use the chainsaw, including the owner's manual that tells you everything that you need to know how to put it together, how to maintain it. So keep that somewhere safe when you've finished with it. We've got the actual chainsaw body here, so that's where the battery goes, and the chain and the bar fit onto there. And this is the bar that the chain fits onto with the protector there. And then we've got, this is the tensioner that goes on the side. It's a quick tensioner there for adjusting the chain and the all-important chain itself. And I do advise you, when you're putting the chain on, this is sharp, so always wear a pair of gloves. The first thing we need to do is to get the battery on charge. And here it is, we've got the charger and the battery. It will come with some charge already in it, but it's good practice to fully charge it. So I've plugged the charger in and we simply just slide that into position like that. Very easy to put in position. And when we've got there a green flashing light, that tells us that the battery is charging. When it goes a solid green, it's fully charged. And when we need to take it out, it's very simple. It's just the red lever at the back, just lift that and then it will slide off and then you can use it. And just a little bit of information on the battery care. Store it somewhere at room temperature. Lithium-ion batteries don't like to be cold, so room temperature is ideal. And then in the winter, when you're not using it, again, make sure that you bring it into the house rather than leave it over winter in a cold shed, and that will greatly improve the performance and the life of your battery. So we'll put that back on and get that charging. So this is it all laid out now. So the first thing we're going to do is to put the chain on the bar. So we're just going to pop that there and take the bar out. So this is what we call the cutting bar that the chain fits onto. So I'm going to wear my gloves to handle the chain because it is quite sharp, so it is worth doing this. And then get the chain out of the bag. There is a right and a wrong way to put the chain on, so it's important. So what we'll do first is just unravel the chain like that. So you've just got to sort of play around with it like that. It's going to go on the cutting bar like that. And this little bit just here, we can see is the cutter. We've got the cutting part of the blade. It's got a little sort of curved bit that's ground to an angle. That's the bit that cuts. So that is the way that it needs to go on. It demonstrates it there as well. So we've got the cutting bit on the top going that way, and then it goes round. So that is the direction it will go round. So that is right. If you get it on wrong, it won't cut. So it is important that you just study that for a minute. So if we just get the chain and fit it around the sprocket there, that's what's going to rotate it. Now, the chains are obviously made to be tight when they're going around, so a little bit fiddly to get them in. So I'm just putting a little bit of tension on the chain, and then I'm going to slide it in. There's a groove all the way around this bar. This top piece rotates. So we're just going to feed that carefully into there so it fits in between those like that. And then we just need to do a little bit of a wiggle and get it on at that end. Okay, and then it's just a case of then getting the chain into the groove. Once you can get it into the groove, it slackens it a little bit. Okay, so just a little bit more there, and that's going into the groove. So with the chain and the bar in position, and we do really need to make sure that it is in the groove all the way there and it's around the sprocket like that. And I'm putting a little bit of tension on to hold it. We can then get this piece, and we can see that the red piece we can use to twist it on, and in the center there is a hole with a thread in it, and that goes on to this bolt here. So we just locate that and tighten it, but all the time I'm keeping the tension on this chain to make sure that it doesn't come off the sprocket. Now, if you've got somebody helping with a pair of gloves, they can hold this as well, just to make it a little easier. And then we're going to tighten that down into position. Just going to make sure it twists. I've probably got that a little bit tight, so I'm just going to ease it off a little bit, because then it will hold it in place. And then with the black one, we can actually lock that into position. So the black lever locks it. As we can see, we've got a padlock logo there, unlock and lock. So we twist it that way, and that is twisting round fine now. And we've got just a little bit of play on the chain. We don't want it so tight that there's no play. And when you've used the chainsaw a couple of times, it's always worth just checking that, because the chains do stretch a little bit. But I'm happy with that. I might just tweak it one little bit and then tighten it, and that is just giving us that little bit of play there. So we can lock it with the black lever and we can turn it. If you can't turn the chain round, you've got it too tight. And we also can check, if we look in there, we can see that it is still on the sprocket. So if I just turn the chain, you can see that everything is moving smoothly and it's in the right position. So locked on, it can't go. If you do need to adjust it in the future, you just slacken off the black lever there while holding it in position, adjust it on the red dial there, and then tighten it back up again. So that's the chain on. The next thing we need to do is when you use it, is to put some chain oil in it. So that lubricates the chain. So don't ever use the chainsaw without chain oil in it. So we'll put some chain oil in. Little tip as well, when you're not using it, always make sure that you've got your chain guard on, then you can't accidentally cut your fingers on the chain. So if we turn it on its side, we just screw that off like that, and then we've got some chain oil here, and that goes in there, and we can pour that into it. There's no set amount you need to put in. Once I turn the chainsaw back the correct way, you'll be able to see the level. So it's important that you monitor that, and when it gets to the minimum, then you keep it topped up again. And this is proper chain oil, so don't use engine oil from your mower. This is a sort of a thicker oil in this. And then we can just pop that back on there and tighten it up, then lock that into place. And then on its side, if I tilt that back, we can see there that the darker line showing through is where the oil is. So now the battery's charged, and we can test that, of course, by pushing the little button on the end, and we get our 4 lights glowing. That is fully charged, and that goes in here, and it goes in that slot there. This is designed for also to use two 20-volt batteries, but we've got the 40-volt Max Plus, so it goes in that way and clicks into place like that. To get it out, we just release it very simply like that. So that goes into place. Now this has obviously got some safety features as well. To start it, you need to hold it like that. We've got a trigger there, but we can't actually use the trigger until that is pushed in. So when starting it, you have to push that button in and the trigger at the same time. So if you're using it right-handed, you do it with your thumb in there, and then you could start that with the trigger. And it's also got a chain brake. This is the chain brake here. So again, if you're using this and you hit a knot in the wood and it jars and you move that forward, that automatically locks the chain from a safety point of view, and then before you can start it again, you have to pull that back. So if ever you're trying to use the chainsaw and it won't go, just check that that is pulled back. So if we take that off, I'm going to put my gloves back on. Again, always good practice, and when you're actually cutting the wood, you're going to need some form of face visor or goggles as well. And to start it then is a case of we push the button in here and pull the trigger back, and there it goes. And as soon as we release the trigger, it stops instantly. If I put the chain brake on, just to demonstrate, it won't work. So you have to have that pulled back in order to get the chain to go round. So as you can see, great little chainsaw. It makes a really good job of pruning and logging around the garden. You don't have to mess around with petrol in it. You've got the battery power there, and easy to assemble. So a great piece of kit for the garden.
Remember to register your Cobra online at cobragarden.co.uk. Always have your Cobra serviced regularly. Check the website for your nearest dealer.